All right, this is Manny EG, your friendly neighborhood referee from Dallas, Texas, and we're here at Drinkin at Mo's.
This is Drinkinatmos, where we talk about the pros of pro wrestling in the Midwest while sipping on some brews with blessed beers and wrestling. That's my scene. Death matches and lucha libre, it's also mean. I'm a straight up smart goofball, not no kiss ass. I stand tall when it comes to wrestling. I'm the king. I know every move, every fling. Get ready for a wild time with Drinkinatmos, where we don't quit. Drinkinatmos, that's where it's at, like a power bomb. We hit hard, never flat. Fucking right, we're living the dream. Talking about wrestling, always a scream.
You know, I've always said here at Drinkinatmos, just because it says drinking at Mo's does not mean it has to be alcoholic. So I'm happy to say Drinking at Mo's is sponsored by Prince Nana Coffee. The exact same guy you see every week on Dynamite, on Collision. Yes, he has his own coffee, and it's freaking delicious. They don't even roast those beans until you've placed your order. And you might be telling me, hey, Big Mo, I'm more of a tea guy. They got you covered there too. Use the referral link in the description of this video. And let's get you dancing like Prince Nana with Prince Nana Coffee. All right, everybody, welcome. Drinking at Mo's. Big Mo here. You know the drill, YouTube, all that good stuff. Hitting the like button, share, subscribe, all that good shit. Because YouTube's algorithm continues to be a pain in my ass. Where most places can find the audio podcast to today. Going back to Texas once again with my good buddy Manny EG. How you doing?
I'm doing great. I got my drink here as well.
Now, wait, where are you?
Is that Diet Dr. Pepper?
Oh, hell yeah.
Oh, awesome. We're a great start right there. Great start.
Great start. All
yes.
right. Great start.
Dr. Pepper, the staple of Texas, but I'm trying to lose a little weight, so I'm drinking Diet Dr. Pepper.
My wife tells me I got a problem. I tell her as long as I got some in the house, I'm fine. It's not a problem. All right. So, first thing I like to ask everybody when they first come on, what got you started as a fan, and then what got you deciding to make the leap into the business?
You know what? I was actually thinking about this exact question the other day, and I was trying to word it out. And I think it happened like any other kid. Your dad or somebody in the family was watching wrestling, and he said, "Come here, watch this." And you just remember somebody throwing someone. You just remember somebody hitting. You were young. You didn't care what the story was. There was no such thing as story. There were no such thing as promos. All you see is somebody hitting someone, and you wanted more. And so from that on, it just trickled down from there. Now you learn their names. Now you got a favorite. Now to this point here. So no idea when it started, but I know the occurrence. My dad was watching wrestling, and then the very first person that I saw was Rey Mysterio. I would never forget it, and it was him versus Big Show. Oh yeah, they went against each other. They went toe to toe many times, and my dad told me this little guy, the short guy, he's really, really good. And from then on, I was glued to the TV. I was like, man, he really did it, and that's what it starts. That's when it starts right there.
Oh yeah, and hell, going back to Mysterio, Big Show. I mean, good Lord, I still remember Big Show swinging Mysterio on a stretcher like the stretcher was a baseball bat. That was nuts.
I think I remember the era against Chavo Guerrero when they had the I Quit match when he injured his knee. He was out for a couple months, and then he came back and he redeemed himself by making Chavo say I quit. That was the time where I spent most of, watching Rey Mysterio, um, that was crazy. And honestly, people really do forget that storyline. And
Mm,
it involved family, it involved everything. Ray's comeback, and it built
mm.
up so much. And then hearing Chavo Guerrero say "I quit," man, it was satisfying. It's like that's one of the first stories as a kid that I was like, oh yeah, finally it happened.
Oh god, and Chavo has proven one of those guys that he can make you love him or hate him. Either way, he can do either one just as good. Much like well, his uncle Eddie,
Mhm.
very much in the same light. Eddie could make you love him, hate him just as easy.
Exactly. And like even now, man, no nobody really forgets him. And like I still feel like he needed a little closure leaving WWE, and I still think he's got some left in the tank because we saw Rey Mysterio versus Chavo, and we're just like, well, we need more, we want him, like we want to still see him. People still remember him. You'd be surprised.
Oh yeah, no, you see him pop up anywhere. TNA, AEW, WWE, anywhere on the independents. Yeah, he's getting cheered just as great as he's ever been.
Exactly. I think he appeared on AEW one time, I think a couple years back, and then he was surprised that people remembered him. It was like, of course, we're gonna remember who you are.
Oh yeah, hell, I even remember what was it? He was even in. We talked a little bit before we started recording of the Lucha Underground. I wanted to say I
Yeah,
believe he was on there for a little bit.
he did. He appeared in a couple of episodes. I faintly do remember Lucha Underground. But yeah, I would watch a couple episodes of that, and yeah, he was on there.
Oh yeah, I've been lucky enough to have a bunch of people that have gone through Lucha Underground on the show. But when you finally got into the business, was there like, you know, when you went through training? I know, you know, being a referee, you still got to go through the training like everybody else. I'm always curious to find out, there's also everywhere that you do training, everybody's got their own way of doing it. Where you got trained, was there any like major differences from, you know, ref training to, the run of the mill stuff that all the other guys and gals that go through in the ring have to do?
So originally, I was training for as a wrestler. Unfortunately, due to an injury that I developed very early on, it limited what I could do. But that never stopped me from like I didn't want to leave the ring. So what else was there? I could be a referee, and I really thought I found my calling there. And as I was training, there really is more than just standing and counting. It's the third character in a two
Yeah.
character story. So you learn psychology, you more or less teach yourself. When you go to wrestling school, the majority of them are wrestlers.
Yeah.
Very few officials, and like pro wrestlers, veterans, they tell you the basics. Um, and of course, you can be your average run of the mill referee. But when you start learning from others, when you start learning that there's an actual psychology in being a referee, it's not only, they tell you where to stand, you're going to do this spot, you got to do that spot. There are some things that naturally you have to know, certain spots, certain positioning that you
Yeah.
put yourself, even certain reactions, even certain motions, you really have to develop yourself. Not so much as a character, but in the sense of knowing your position. You have to recognize your position and where you at. Even feeling awkward, like if you feel like you're in an awkward position in the ring, you probably are. And
Yeah.
I've felt that before.
Oh yeah. No, I can definitely get you there because people don't often, and I mean maybe for good reason. You're supposed to concentrate on the ones, the wrestlers in the ring, they don't often think of all the stuff that the ref is having to do. Like,
Exactly.
having to, like you said, positioning, making sure, where the hard cam is, and where other cameras are. So when you go for the 1, 2, 3 count, and you're not like blocking one of the camera views. And some people, some places get that a little better than others. But hey, it stuff happens, right?
Exactly. Stuff happens in and out the ring. And what I've noticed is some people don't really know how to utilize a referee because we're essentially also a tool. We're expendable in certain ways, not just to communicate, not just for somebody to count, but someone to guide them. There's been times where I've had to guide some green guys, some very green guys, and yeah, they get lost, man. Somewhere along the line, and they're like, "Hey, man, I don't know what to do at this point." Well, just do what you normally do. Keep it simple, man, and guiding some people to their destination in the ring. Sometimes they just need a helping hand.
Oh yeah, and then you guys are also in there, sometimes managing times. Like, hey, you're getting a cue. Like, hey, gotta wrap it up.
Yeah,
I know. I mean, I saw an example of that actually on AEW recently. Well, a little while ago, when the night of the infamous Moxley Copeland street fight with the
yeah.
nail, I was there. I was third row, and I want to
Wow.
say this example was more on a promo, but still, sometimes referees are still out there, managing times with that, because I saw. I mean, she was behind the camera at the time, but Aubrey Edwards, I could see her like,
Yeah.
wrap it up.
Yeah, I heard something very similar that the spot took too long or something like that. I, for one, thought that was gory. I was like, oh man, that
Oh
that
God,
was
I
yeah,
was I was sitting third row right by the entrance, and the spot where it was nuts. But man, when they were trying to take it out of him, I
mhm.
don't know how much it showed on TV, but to demonstrate, you could literally see the skin.
Yeah.
Just, I'm like,
It felt like it was barbed or something like that,
it
and
did.
I'm like, oh man, that's just no. And I get it. You're trying to entertain the fans, take it to a whole nother level, but it has been done safely.
Yeah,
Abyss and RVD, they did it.
those nail board spots at Abyss, he made those famous, where it almost
Exactly.
had me desensitized to those nail board spots, because more often than not, if one was laying in the ring and get slammed on it one way or the other,
Exactly.
it seemed more like they would hit the board, the wood part of it, not so much the nails.
Yeah.
And I saw it just laying there, and I'm like, oh God.
Mhm.
Oh God. And then when it happened, I'm like, like, I have a bad
Yeah.
back, but I was like, oh, motherfucker.
Yeah,
Yeah.
honestly, to this day, I don't know what was going through Moxie's mind where he was in the back and said, "Yeah, that's a great idea." No, I just
No,
even Cope, he was just I don't know what he was going through his mind and agreed to, yeah, I'll definitely hit you with that. And it's like,
yeah, yeah, those pre-match meetings trying to go over what. Oh God.
what was the meeting entitled? Like what got to the all right, I have this great idea. All right,
No.
Cope, listen to me. This will work. I'm like, no. Why? Who? Why did both of them agree? And better yet, Tony Khan. Well, I mean, we all know Tony Khan. Yes, yes, I love it. I love you, John Moxley. Yes, you have a great idea.
Yeah, I can see that. But yeah, it's that was a hell of a night. We The blizzard that was going on that night was
Yes.
it. Yeah, it took me a while to get to the venue, but I'm like, damn it, they will have to literally shut the town down
Hmm.
before I don't go, because I've never sat that close for a nationally televised show. I've sat that close at like NXT house
Hmm.
shows where they came up, and that, now that I think about that, that actually brings up another moment that kind of the dangers that referees can go through,
Hmm.
because it was all over social media that a ref at that particular show literally got knocked over, and like his ankle was literally like hanging on like that, and
Hmm.
he still finished the, you know, 1, 2, 3, and they carted him off like right by me.
Hmm.
And yeah, like literally seeing his ankle
Hmm.
like just flopping like that. Referees get injured and all that just as much. I mean, hopefully not as much, really, as the, you know, the guys and gals that are, you know, putting their bodies on the line. Literally, referees, it can happen. I mean,
Oh, it
Tim
definitely can.
White, another example,
Hmm.
practically had his in ring refereeing part of his career cut short.
Yeah, and honestly, I agree. I mean, we're in like in a position where yeah, we can get hurt. And it's not just the workers if the guys are just something happens and they happen to hit you or something like that. It also has to do with where we are. We have to anticipate where we're at. There's a certain direction of where you're standing that you can be safe and you're in harm's way. It's anticipating where they're going to be, staying out of their way. It happens to every referee. It happens on TV where they accidentally get in the way. They'll scoot away, just in time, but there will be a time where they don't make it out. There's been referees, I've heard stories of a referee, I think, getting hit on accident and he hit the rope with his neck and that, it cut his career short. A lot of referees, if they're not there on time, it's also ring awareness where you're at in the ring. It's not just for wrestlers themselves. You have to know where you're at. You have to know when to get out of the way because all of a sudden some guy, oh, he's going for something that wasn't planned. He takes him down fast, and then you're like, oh man, I gotta get out of the way. He'll take him down. He'll do something random. And it's just like, oh man, well, that wasn't planned. I better get out of the way and let it happen.
Oh yeah, and yeah, it just makes, like, I have already, with all the wrestling that I've watched over, goddamn, I'm getting ready to turn 42. I've watched quite a bit, but it just gives me that much more respect for, you know, the people in the ring, whether it's, you know, the wrestlers, the referees, whoever it is, because yeah, things can go wrong quickly.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And you are kind of all over the place between Texas, even jumping into Arkansas. I'm loving that, even being damn near 350 episodes now,
Mm-hmm.
I am still learning about new places, new promotions. One of them going into Arkansas, which I've had another promotion from Arkansas, that Natural State Rest. Yeah, Natural State. I feel bad,
Yeah.
and if the guy ends up, the promoter ends up watching this, I'm sorry. Words are hard, but Chaotic Kingdom Wrestling is one that, you know, you've popped up at
Mm-hmm.
before. What do y'all got going on there for people that might not be in that general area?
Well, I haven't been to Chaotic Kingdom Wrestling in a while. It was part of the OIWA, the whole
Ah,
company that I was working with back in Source. So they're all kind of connected. But it looks like they're bringing it back. They're bringing good talent up there. I see some good things. I've seen them. I think they were doing a couple shows. I think this is their second show coming back. And so, man, it looks like they're doing some great things. Rod Rising, he's coming back. Great, great talent. They got some other guys that I used to work with. Great, great talent. And it looks like, they're bringing it back. They're reviving it. It's got a new look, new roster, man. Honestly, great things. Great things is what I'm seeing.
That
And
is awesome.
me being occupied with other things, wishing I
Yeah,
could be down there, but it looks like they're going on some great things.
that is awesome. And you know what? Speaking of it, I have heard bits throughout the life of the podcast so far of Soar. What do y'all got going on there? That again, for people that might not be in that area to frequently be able to attend the shows.
Well, SOAR, it runs around, it used to run around Carrollton, and then they moved a couple locations. That's where I trained. I trained over there. The academy was called Bumps and Bruises at the time. I believe it's still called that. So I trained there. I trained under Evelyn Carter, and they would also bring another referee by the name of Joey Lynn. He was my biggest mentor. He was my mentor at the time. He taught me the main things. Main curator was Sir Mo, Bobby Horn. Learned a couple of things from him too, but mainly Evelyn Carter. She taught me most. She graduated me as well. In terms of SOAR, they try to, entertain the folks as much as they can. They bring in, just like any other promotion, they'll bring in a pretty big name. They'll have them fight Dante Smiley, their champion, best talent I've seen, man. He's got a whole 8 pack and a whole thing going on, man. It's like a
Yeah,
crazy cut.
people with the damn 8 packs and me over here. Hey, I got a 5-month-old, so I living the dad bod life here.
Yeah, I was going towards that, but you know, as a referee and all that, I thought of one important factor. You got to stay in shape
That you do.
because you barely see any out of shape referees in WWE. Maybe one or two, more the senior guys, but overall, man, you got these in shape referees, and you just got to fit the bill. And I've been told that I look like that frame, and I'm like, well, you know what? I'm putting up a little bit more. I got to put up a little bit more muscle, lose a little weight. My height's perfect. And so that's the one thing you just got to stay in shape because I've seen some big referees on other TV shows, especially in AAA. Man, I've seen
Mm.
some big referees, but they keep that classic look. And
Oh yeah.
but I've also seen on some YouTube videos some big referees who are struggling to even after they count, struggling to get back up. I'm like, all right, you're gonna have to lose a little weight to keep up there.
Yeah, no, I've definitely up here seen one in particular that, yeah, it still gives me shivers even thinking about. Okay, I'm gonna rant here for a second
Go right
because
ahead.
this one was so bad. Like, okay, I might not be trained referee, but I still know in a last man standing match when you're counting when the guy's down, if the guy goes back to getting beaten up, count stops. This guy kept going. And I was just like, at one point after about the third time of that happening, I couldn't help myself. I literally yelled out over the crowd, I could do your job better than you.
Yeah, there are some rules, and then there are the ones who forget the rules completely. Um, I've had referees ask me, "Hey, do you if they're outside the ring, they come in and out, you reset it. It's like, well, yeah, I hate it when it happens. It pisses me off. It's like, all right, 8 count. He comes in. All right, we're good. We'll and then comes out. Ah, come on. I just finished on 8 counts. I'm usually in a last man standing. If he's still on the floor, he's still on the floor unless he gets back up to his knees or his legs. You don't stop. You just keep counting. You just don't stop. And so it was probably a different scenario on his head. He thought, oh, he smacks him, it resets the whole thing. Possibly what was going on through his mind, but yeah, those small things, makes a referee look weird. Is like, did you forget the rules or something like that? You're the rule master in this one. You can't not forget the rules.
Yeah. And like, I know there's some places that, with, you know, counts for being out of the ring. I know there's some places that do the 20 count, which I always find that weird. But hey, it's whatever. As long as there's a set parameter, I don't 10, 20 don't bother me
Yeah,
none. Just be consistent with it.
exactly. Be consistent with it, because you could tell it's like, are they extending it? Because sometimes I've seen referees, they count too damn fast, and they'll go 1, 2, 3. Hey, hold on, he's outside the ring. He ain't in no corner. Like, slow it down. And I'm like, are you confusing? Some of them I've heard so long, and I'm here thinking, man, that's the longest two count. This has been 5 minutes since that last count. It's like, man, these counts are taking business days now.
Yep. We've all seen some of those.
Yep.
Now, another promotion that I want to talk about that I've seen, some of the posters pop up on social media. King of Sports Championship Wrestling. Sounds like a very old school classic style of pro wrestling, which it does appeal to me because I do enjoy that. Much like I enjoy my football, I like that smash mouth, just knock the snot out of you style. And hell, I gravitate towards those intense personas that kind of go along with that. I know FTR, they're heels now, but they're very much that old school smash mouth, just knock the snot out of you style that gets me excited.
And you like hit the nail right on the head, man. It is, it's an 80s style wrestling where it's just excitement, it's storytelling, it is presentation. That's what the beauty of King of Sports is. Even in the name King of Sports, you're already putting out a statement. um in every King of Sports show, all the officials, we go out and we present ourselves, because we value the position of the official, um, because the officials, they're very important, and that's why I respect, King of Sports so much, because the fact that putting the official over in such a position, putting in our ranks, is just awesome. And it's not just the referees, it's also the timekeepers, it's also the matchmakers, the ones who put all this together, the announcers as well, everyone prior to the show. It even makes you feel like you're not even watching wrestling. Now you're watching full on entertainment, kind of like how they do in boxing. It gives it a more professional word to professional wrestling.
Mm.
Just those aspects right there lifts everything. And I've had so much fun with them. It's basically my second home, with King of Sports. I know it's going to be a great event. I know it's going to be a great show, because the energy, no matter who's there, no matter how many people is there, you can see from YouTube videos, you got fans screaming their heads off. You have storytellers there, and it just comes in naturally. The
Oh, yeah.
setting, the aspect, everything about King of Sports, it screams old school. And believe it or not, man, people are hungry for a little old school.
Oh yeah. No, I'm definitely right there with it. Some of my favorites growing up, those intense personas, the old school ones, like, oh God, dating myself a little bit for some of the younger viewers, but Bruiser Brody, one of
Oh yeah.
one of my all-time favorites, Although I will admit, growing up, he scared the shit out of me. But now, with the taste I have, dude, I love watching me some Bruiser Brody. Just from the way, from the entrance on, it just screams intensity. And hell, even, reminds me nowadays, more so in the work that this newer, well, newer guy, but Lance Archer, when
Yeah.
he had his entrances in New Japan, very Bruiser Brody esque, where he wasn't swinging around the chain, but he had the bottle of water that he hit and throw it, and yeah, love it. Actually,
Yeah.
one of my first signed wrestling figures that I have up top here, Lance Archer.
Oh wow. That's awesome.
Oh yeah. So yeah, no, I am definitely going to be paying attention to King of Sports Championship Wrestling because you're selling it even more for me with everything. So I'm
And
definitely going to be tuned
it's just the truth, man. When you're in that ring, it's a different vibe. You go along with the story, and sometimes I even forget that I'm officiating. I'm like, man, this is going well. Ah, crap, I forgot to count. And
it happens.
you flow with those stories, and it's like, man, wow, they were making a statement. And you also flow along with the crowd, and you forget yourself sometimes. And man, there have been amazing storytelling, amazing matches from King of Sports. That man, a lot of people are missing this.
I'm gonna be paying attention for sure. Now, I have two categories here to round stuff off with. The first one's a bit of a name game, and I try to theme it towards the guests as much as possible. Mostly people from the area that the guests are from, and with Texas. Each of these people, big names in Texas, and so I give you the name, first thoughts that pop in your head. Now, for anybody that's known me for any amount of time, knows that this first person is one of my all-time absolute favorites. And if I'm going to be talking about somebody from Texas, if I didn't mention this person, people would think I got knocked in the head. Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Oh man, first word beer. That's the very first word beer. Yep, there, right there, exactly. And you don't even recognize him. You don't. Nobody remembers him because he wrestled. Everyone just remembers beer. That's it. Back in I think 2005 when you would see the very entrance of like WWE, its logo, all you see is Stone Cold Steve Austin and beer. That's how everyone remembers him.
Oh,
That right there, that's what I remember.
oh yeah, one of my absolute favorites, and one of the only people that has his own section in my display behind me here. I got everything from the cam. I got Funko Pops, figures. I even a lot of people. This isn't Stone Cold, but WWE. How they used to have that restaurant in Times Square.
Yeah.
Well, back in '02, I actually went to New York and actually went to the restaurant, and I still got my glass.
Yeah, I would keep that too. I wouldn't give it back.
Oh no! If I think it was somewhere, if like you bought for your meal, you bought that size or whatever, it was like a little extra charge. I'm like, so I get to keep the glass? Yes, please.
Right on.
Oh yeah, but yeah, Stone Cold, one of my all-time favorites. He's getting a little crap right now for the whole ATV accident in at WrestleMania, but I'm like, shit happens with that stuff. The ring
I
mats get slippery, and
honestly, looking back, that whole thing was just it was a clusterfuck, and I was dying laughing. The lady, I don't know if she got hit or nothing. Like who knows?
She might
Flew
have gotten knocked
back,
back a little bit because it did,
maybe, yeah,
maybe.
but the whole fact, thank goodness that no one got hurt.
Exactly.
The fact that that happened though, I 100% know that's a Stone Cold thing that's gonna happen regardless. Like the fact that they weren't blaming Stone Cold, that's like, man, that's such a Stone Cold thing he would do, even if it wasn't planned.
Yeah,
And
even if, you know, that part that, I mean, I'm sure he didn't mean to. The people are acting. Wow, words are hard. People acting like he did that on purpose. I mean, he did not
it's like,
freaking
no.
try. He did not purposely try to crash the damn thing. It was having mechanical issues before he even drove it up on the stage.
Yeah, apparently the reason why it took so long, apparently he was struggling with the ATV just to get it on the stage. He actually crashed prior to that.
Basically,
TikTok came out, he was maneuvering and whatnot. That's why it took so long for him to get up there. And then once that happens, at that point, you just it's just pure natural comedy. And the fact that Stone Cold was the one who drove it made it even funnier, man. The amount of memes that came out of that, oh man.
yeah, yep. Oh my god, yeah. All right, now the next person here seems to be making a bit of a move for the main roster in the WWE. But hey, doing amazing things. And, well, Roxanne Perez.
I would say first thing that comes to my mind, it would be destination.
Mm,
What is her next destination? Because she dominated NXT. She made a name for herself.
oh,
And
yeah.
what I admire about Roxanne Perez is Julia coming in, Jordan Grace coming in, Stephanie Vaquer coming in, and more others. She was still up there. She was still high up there because, obviously there was some intimidation issues. Obviously there was some ego issues. There was some competition, but Roxanne Perez was still up there. She was
Mm-hmm.
able to hold her own, and she was still able to mark her name, and people didn't forget about her. Obviously
Oh,
people
yeah.
were looking at Julia, people were looking at Jordan and Grace, they were looking at Stephanie Vaquer, but they never forgot Roxanne Perez, which
Mm-hmm.
hats off to her, man. I
Oh, boy.
watched her when she was early on, and honestly, she's up there and she's gonna do great things. I know that.
Oh, yeah. And the thing that, for me impresses me a lot with her is, you know, it was a little strange at first with the heel turn that she did. Because it's like she's up to that point pretty much the perennial baby face. But holy crap, is she sure owning it right now?
Yeah.
Loving it.
Oh
Another
yeah.
another person, very strong personality. The forever Ring of Honor Women's Champion Athena.
Athena. I just gotta say impressive. Impressive, and if I would say pedestal.
Mm.
When I was watching her on WWE, I don't know, man. It felt like she was talented. Well, she is talented, and she was showing off, man. I would it would catch my eyes. Like, wow, at the time, Ember Moon, great, man. This is awesome. She's doing all sorts of stuff, and then all of a sudden, you could tell it's like now looks like production backstage can't figure anything out, and then she left. But then she found her calling in AEW, and man, hats off to her, man. She is a workhorse. She is creatively a genius. Everything behind that, and having that ROH title on her, it just makes it look even better, man. It's just she's on a pedestal that honestly she did it herself, and hardest worker out there. I've met her personally, probably once or twice. Great person in general. Haven't worked with her yet, hoping to work with her. But honestly, hats off to her. She's earned her flowers. She's earned her mark. And at this point, there are so many people that are saying the same thing. She's probably going to be back at WWE very soon. And, people are going to remember who she is. Um, and without a doubt, she's going to bring a lot to WWE. And, it's just what happens next. Well, what will happen, and I hope it happens. Honestly, hats off to her.
Yeah, it up until the current regime, whenever somebody would talk about, oh, somebody going back to WWE or somebody just going to WWE, like, oh, they should go there, I would have been like, no, no, they're a lot better with that now. Like, there's a lot of people going in there now that, let's just say, the old regime, if they were still around,
Yeah.
not anywhere near what they're doing right now. So I feel a little more confident in, if somebody were to go back. Athena, my whole thing is I just hope if she does, that, this new regime that I am more confident in, that they treat her a lot better this go around. So I'm
Exactly.
I'm feeling confident.
Because
Oh, go ahead.
they do, and you notice that they try as well. They really do. But WWE fans, they're fickle.
Yeah, very much so. I mean, they're not too okay. I was trying to think of the way I wanted to word this, but out of the two, like the biggest ones right now in the United States, anyways, WWE, AEW. Fans on both sides, whether they prefer one or the other, fickle
Yes.
the whole way around.
Mm-hmm.
Fickle, and I mean, on one hand, I can have some respect for as passionate as somebody can be one way or the other. I've just always been, if you're gonna put pro wrestling on in front of me, I'll watch it.
Yeah, of course. And when I see a return, personally, I say, awesome. Look at that. Look at that, man. Look where they're at. Hats off to you. You made it. That's all you need to. I see comments all over Facebook, Instagram. Why waste your time there? Oh, worst of a talent, waste of a talent. I'm sorry. They're in WWE. You're not. They
Yeah.
made it. They worked their ass off. They
Oh, yeah.
are there, and hey, they're selling. They're making money. Oh well.
Yeah.
Some people are like, "Oh, it's a waste of a space, waste of talent. Why'd they bring him here? Why'd they bring him back?" And man, WWE fans hate AEW fans, and AEW fans hate WWE fans. It's an ongoing battle, and there was even some talks that Triple H said, maybe rumor, maybe so, but honestly, I feel like it's true that he said WWE fans suck. And honestly, he makes a good point. There are many fans out there like me, I have my opinions. I look at the good things. Congratulations, you did this. Congratulations that you got a belt. Congratulations that, they're doing something with you. I just see the positives, man. I just see the positives. And it's doing great. Like there were people who were happy that Dominic Mysterio won the Intercontinental title, and some others were like, "Oh, he's not ready. He's not this. He's just doing." No, he's a generational talent. He's doing things on his own. That's what's going on.
Oh, yeah.
And at that point, it's like, man, you see these guys, they're doing great. They're doing awesome because in WWE, it's not indie wrestling. It's what people don't realize. Sure,
Yeah.
you can be the best possible thing ever, but also you got to look at it from a business standpoint. What is selling the most? John Cena, the Mysterios. Right now, Jacob Fatu, Penta. You also have to think of it what's selling.
Yeah.
Now, Triple H, he's giving opportunities to people, but he's also saying, look, I'll give you an opportunity. You're great. You're a great worker. Now sell.
Mm-hmm.
And, it does come down to that, what's best for business. It's like, look, man, I'm putting you up there for 5 minutes and we're not selling much. You're great, but we're not selling much of you compared to this other guy who kind of sucks, but unfortunately they really, really like him. We're selling out on him. We're gonna put him up there first. It it's nothing personal. It really does come down to business.
Oh yeah. No, definitely. Last but not least, talking about a guy that could sure sell the crowd on himself. The late great Eddie Guerrero.
There was much left. There was a lot left. And everyone knows that. Everyone knows there was a lot left during his run itself. Usually whenever a wrestler passes away, you it's people recognize what happened in the past. They're like, oh man, he did this. Oh wow, that's great. Or sometimes when a WWE wrestler is released, nobody really cares until they come back. For Eddie, it's what he was doing the entire time that people fell in love with. Every single motion from when he was in WCW into WWE, every single thing, man, it was unique. It brought the Latino aspect onto WWE, and he amplified it, and he wasn't only just a character, man. He did great work in the ring, um, against opponents, man. He had a rocking body, man. He looked in great shape, man. The mullet,
Oh yeah.
everything. It spoke Mexican, it spoke Latino, and he perfected everything about it. And so, it was basically like your uncle on TV, man, with the low rider, everything, different types of tag team. It didn't matter who he tag teamed. It was awesome. Tag
Oh yeah.
teaming with Rey Mysterio, it was the best times ever. Tag teaming with Batista, it was like, man, that's odd, but it works. It was just him, his charisma, his character. It's what sold. It's what made everything. Even against Brock Lesnar, big dude like Brock Lesnar at the time, yeah, they were like, oh man. Against Eddie Guerrero, it's like, oh man, I want to see this. This is something that I want to see. Rest in peace, Eddie Guerrero, one of the best generational talents. And if he were here right now, he would most likely still be in WWE, but on such a huge, enormous level that if he were paired up with Dominic Mysterio, oh man, you're gonna feed families with
Oh,
that. You will feed
oh yeah.
families with that.
Oh man, that would be epic. And isn't it a Dominic? He's even kind of wearing some of the Eddie stuff, which just
Yep.
just fuels that whole conspiracy theory of Eddie was Dominic's real father. I'm loving
Yeah.
it. You know, and going to Dominic, he's definitely come a long, long way from when he first got in there. Now, I have some random questions. Some wrestling related, some not, some pretty much nothing to do with anything we've talked about so far. So I give you a question, first answer that pops into your head.
All right.
First one, craziest in match moment that you were there to witness.
Craziest thing. Ah, man, I have a lot. It would have to go back when I was in SmackDown. I went to go watch SmackDown, got a front row ticket. Craziest thing to ever happen, basically seeing Bray Wyatt live.
Oh, yeah.
And the best experience was they did a dark match afterwards. Him versus Daniel Bryan. I got to sit front row, watch it all happen. And I was right next to the barricade. And so I guess they were doing a spot in the barricade. And, Bray Wyatt was just wailing on him, just beating him up. And my goofy ass yells out, "Yowie wowie!" And the first thing Bray Wyatt does is, I fangirled. I was like, oh my God, he told me to shush. Oh my God, he told me to shush. I'm just fangirling. And to that point, it's like, man, that was a core memory that I will never forget. The
Oh,
fact that he just shushed me after going, yowie wowie. It's like, man, it's just, that will forever be there. And he looked at me. He stared at me because I did it right in front of him. He looked at me with the fiend eyes, and forever will be imprinted. And the fact that he shushed me, it just repetitively playing in my head. I'm like, wow, I just shit myself.
that's some good shit.
Yep.
Oh, man. All right, I can't do that for too long, or my throat just starts. You know. But yeah, I my podcast has even had a little bit of a connection to Bray Wyatt. When I did an episode with former Ring of Honor 6-man tag champ Dutch,
Mhm.
not realizing he was friends with Bray Wyatt at the time. I guess I hadn't really thought about it. I probably knew about it, but it just, with everyday life, I kind of just slipped my mind. But I forget if it was I had posted about having done the episode, or that I had, actually aired the air date of the episode. I just remember I was coming home from work and I get a Twitter alert. I'm not calling it X, but I didn't recognize the little picture in there. So I was like, well, I'll check when I get to a stoplight. I do, and I about dropped my phone because it was Bray Wyatt liking the post.
Wow.
And I was just like, I messaged Dutch right away, and I'm like, "You're friends with Bray Wyatt?" And then he explained all of it. I'm like, that explains so much right now. Because I fanboyed out like fucking crazy. So that was nuts. I've actually before I go into the craziest moments that I've witnessed, I've also fanboyed out actually at Disney World one time. I went and I had bent down to tie my shoe, something I don't freaking remember. All I remember was going to stand back up, and my head, slowly gets up, and all of a sudden, I noticed this T-Rex skull tattoo on this guy's arm. It was Kevin Owens. And I was just like, oh. And I saw he was with his family. So I'm like, if this were in the parking lot, I'd be asking for a picture. But we're in the park. I'm not going to ruin his family time, but I know I saw him. But I will admit to running up to my wife and being like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Yeah, I'll admit to that. Now, craziest moments that I've witnessed, and I'm not going to pick the Moxley nailboard spot because, yes, that would be up there. First ever death match that I actually got to witness in person was actually for Sami Callihan's promotion, Revolver.
Mm-hmm.
And Jake Christ, love the guy, was one of the participants.
I have worked with him, and he's amazing in the ring. Yeah.
Oh, amazing in the ring and a top-notch person to boot.
Oh, yeah.
But it was right after a multi-person Monsters Ball match. So there was stuff all over, thumbtacks, all that stuff. They were cleaning it. He runs in. It's like, fuck that, leave it, let's go. And starting off on a crazy note, but it ended even crazier when they took 4 folding chairs, bridged 2 panes of glass on there, and then somebody brings in a thing of lighter fluid, and they lit the glass on fire.
Oh man,
I was like second or third row for that one. It was on the other side of the ring, and I could still feel the heat from the freaking fire. Ugh. Yeah, Revolver has been host to many of my crazy moments that I've witnessed, including a Cage of Horrors match where fire was used in 2 different spots. Yeah.
Honestly, I never found the point of using fire, but hey, it gets a good pop. It still gets me a good pop to this day. It's like, damn, all
Yeah.
right, if that floats your boat.
Yep. Oh, God. Yep. Great moments. Now, wrestling and keeping in ring shape, whether you're a wrestler or referee, can take up a lot of time. Might not leave a whole lot of time for hobbies, but next question, the hobbies that you have, if any, because like I said, I know staying in shape can take a lot of time when you factor in jobs and everything.
Uh, Good balance. Honestly, I don't even have time for hobbies going through college,
Yeah.
training, and just work. But any hobbies that, I want to pick back up as well. Surprisingly, gaming, they
Mm,
say it's a hobby. I'm always playing some sort of video game. If I'm not doing that, I'm building Legos. And I
okay.
don't care who you are, I still want to build a Millennium Falcon. I still want to build a
Yeah.
Death Star. Anyone wants to relive that as a kid. Um, uh, it just comes down to like doing the stuff that you wanted to do as a kid, and you just do not have time. You have the money now, you have the resources, but you just do not have the time. And man, when I do get that chance, it's just like feeling like a kid again. It's like when your mom and dad couldn't buy you the set, but they buy you like a $10 set, and it's just that. And just trying to relive the glory days is what you're
Oh,
trying
yeah.
to do.
Oh, yeah. Much like with some of my figure collecting and stuff.
Yeah.
I got the only ones I keep out of the box for wrestling stuff are for my ones that, people that have passed away. I actually finally at a store found a Bam Bam Bigelow, and
Oh,
another one of my
wow.
all-time favorites. So I finally got him up there. But yeah, growing up, it was pro wrestling and Ninja Turtles for me, and
Mm.
slowly rebuilding my Turtles collection, even getting some stuff. I actually met the voice of Michelangelo from the original cartoon,
Oh, wow.
and actually have a Funko Pop, Michelangelo Funko Pop signed by him.
Oh, snap. That's awesome.
Oh yeah. So I'm proud of my little collection. My wife gives me shit calling them my dolls, and I'm like,
They're
I was
not they're not dolls. They're not
they're
dolls. No.
action figures.
Exactly.
Oh man.
Exactly.
Every time she does that, I just look at her like, give that slowly annoyed growl.
Yep.
Although I will admit, podcast has taken some time with me being basically a one-man production crew on it. Not as much time for gaming as I might like, although I do have some of my favorites. I was getting into some of the Resident Evil series, like the remakes. 2, loved it. 4, loved it. I was trying to get 100% on it, but that didn't really pan out too much.
Mhm.
I've only ever actually 100%ed one game. The latest Mortal Kombat.
Mm.
I actually 100%ed it.
Yeah, I never got a hold of those. I am more of an RPG guy.
Mm.
I always did Fallout. Just like any other gamer, I'll play a Call of Duty, I'll play Rainbow Six Siege. But the game that has pissed me off the most, that will grind my gears, and very much life relatable, it's fucking Animal Crossing.
Oh my god, yeah.
You're number one. A damn raccoon puts you in $150,000 in debt. It's like, damn, this is way too relatable. And
Yeah.
you have to grind for the money. It's like, man, I'm going to the beach picking up shells and selling it to his son, his two twin sons. It's like,
Yeah.
What the hell, man? And
Uh,
you have to wait these many days. You got to go fishing. You got to catch bugs just to pay off all this debt. You do like 3, 4 hours of work. You only come up with like $10,000. It's like,
yeah.
when am I ever gonna stop this? It's like, man, this is exposing real life, and it's not even to mention sometimes you make your little village and whatnot, and
Yeah.
you're starting to build the community. Then all of a sudden, the damn raccoon, he keeps building up his shop. He's upgrading his stuff. Then he asks you, "All right, you want to expand your house? It's going to be another $350,000." I just got done paying the first one. This is just the second upgrade. And I'm
Yeah.
like, this is the most life relating thing, man. It really is life related. It's like, all right, I just got done with one debt.
Ah, damn it. Here comes
Damn it. Yeah,
another.
here we go. Yep. One thing you can't avoid: death and
No.
taxes and a damn raccoon that puts you in debt.
Yeah. Oh, man, that was a good one. All right. Now, next question I have here. Best movie with a wrestler in it. And it doesn't have to be a pro wrestling movie, just a movie that starred a pro wrestler.
Longest yard.
Yeah, that would be a damn good. That would be a damn good one.
Everyone forgets that one. There's 3 of them in that damn movie.
Oh yeah. Well, actually, okay. Goldberg, Stone Cold, Kevin Nash. Actually, there's 4.
Oh, man.
Great Khali.
Oh shit! Yes, that is true. Yeah, I forgot about him. Yeah, that is true.
I'd play. Oh God, love it.
Yeah, that. Oh man, by far, you get 4 big ass motherfuckers, and shit, man. They played their role. I just think, man, they fit so well in the movie. When you watch the movie, you forget that these guys, they were WWE. And
Oh
they were
yeah.
in their primes too, man. Everyone was looking in great shape at the time. Man, you just have like these guys, and you immediately forget that these guys were WWE.
Oh yeah.
It switches gears. Funniest interaction. I actually made Kevin Nash laugh one time. I was at a SWE show. It was one here that ran in Texas. Nash came in. This is before I joined wrestling. Shook his hand and I got his autograph. And then I told him, "Hey, man, I loved you in Magic Mike." He just like, oh, he's like, oh, man. And I broke him there. They try to, we all stick in
Yeah.
character, but I broke him and I was laughing my ass off when I left. And I was like, he's like, really? Really? And I was like, yeah, man, you did great in Magic Mike. They hate that. Those embarrassing moments. Oh, they hate that. I'm just there laughing my ass off, having a great time,
Okay.
and just the face on him.
Oh yeah. Although, okay, 2 things before moving on to the next question. Longest yard with the funny thing with Kevin Nash. The part where his character had mistakenly had the estrogen pills,
Estrogen, yes.
and he's all like, "Oh God!" That the whole
Like,
thing
what
after
the
that with him was
what the hell are you doing? I don't know, man. I'm just feeling kind of sensitive. Why
Oh,
why are you rubbing your nipples? I just feel sensitive, man. I
oh,
don't know.
oh man, that was some good stuff. And talking about making people crack. That is okay. I've only had the chance to do commentary, unfortunately, one time, but I bring the same energy that I would if I were just one in the crowd. And when I'm in the crowd, my main thing is getting people to crack. I want to, at some point, some nights I'm feeling a little off, so I don't get it done. But man, if I'm feeling it, my goal is to get somebody to crack, whether it's wrestler, referee, ring announcer, somebody. Sometimes I get it done before the show even starts. That has happened. But let's see, notable ones that I've actually gotten to crack. Mike Bennett.
Oh, wow.
I got him to crack the last time he was here in Omaha, Nebraska, and it was in the middle of a match. The crowd had just died down a little bit. He was in one corner, the other guy was in the other, and I just yelled out, "Adam!" And he looks down like son of a. But I talked to him after, and he's like, "Dude, you popped the hell out of me." I'm like, "Yes." And then Luther.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Tony Storm's butler.
Mm.
This was shortly after when Tony Storm and Mariah May were still, before that whole ordeal happened. Tony Storm made the comment about Mariah May slapping the tits off her opponent. I was at the Collision just a few days after that. And I just remember thinking, I hope Tony Storm has a match. Well, she did. And same situation. They're both in a corner. Crowd had died down a little bit. And I just yell out, "Slap her tits off!" Because I was like right behind the announce desk. And Luther just, what the like looks over like, who yelled that?
Oh, man.
One of my big regrets when it comes to, when comedy and, in my commentary, wow, I about knocked something down there. But in my commentary debut, the footage of it got lost. But they were talking about what was going to be the second show, because it was the debut show. And my commentary partner he opened it up. He opened it up for this. And I'm like, you give me an opening for a joke, I'm going to take it. He was like, man, it looks like it's going to be a solid number 2 show. I could not help myself. I literally, without missing a beat, just said, yeah, because nobody likes a runny number 2. He literally had to stop talking for like a minute. He was like, God damn it. I'm like, yes. I'm the Pat McAfee of my commentary group whatever one I'm in. My goal is to get somebody laughing.
There was a friendly fire will not be tolerated moment.
Oh, man.
Oh, man.
I'm like I said, I bring the same energy on commentary that I would if I were just sitting in the damn crowd. I want to get somebody laughing.
Oh, man. I've gotten one guy. This was at the time when I was a fan. Same situation, actually. I think it was that same night. It was an SWE show. I got Max Castellanos. So not a lot of people know that I speak fluent Spanish. So he came out. Obviously, he was doing his heel work. Great heel, and he started cussing me in Spanish, right? And we just locked. Him and I just locked together. So he goes into the ring. I keep heckling, as I, just giving him the heat, everything. He goes up to the corner, and then he starts going to me in Spanish, and I get back to him in Spanish. And so I tell him to go, F yourself in Spanish. He smiled. He's like, hey. He had that mean face, and then he completely switched. He's like, hey. He broke him completely. It's like, damn it, he knows what I'm saying.
Before the next question, I got another one. Somebody playing the heel, I was yelling back at them, and they tried to, the whole, insulting my mom sort of thing. And without missing, he cracked a little bit. Like, I could tell he was caught off guard. Because I just said, well, I hate my mom, so yeah.
Oh, man.
Great memories.
I haven't had anyone in the crowd break me, but I've had one guy. I don't remember his name. I went to check on him, and this was after the match. I go to check on him, and he looks at me, and he's like, "Mr. President." I said, "Ah, shit." Why? And the crowd heard it, and the crowd saw me break. He's like, "Is that you, Mr. President?" I'm like, and then without missing a beat, I did that one scene from the ridiculous sixth, and I said, "You did good, son. You did good." When I'm laughing my ass off all the way to the damn back, I'm dying. I'm like, "What entitled you to say that?" I said, "Oh, I've been trying to break somebody for 2 years now. You're the third person that I break." I'm like, "Oh, damn it."
Only other one that I've had, it goes to a show that, reading off the sponsors before the show. And the whole thing is this, I forget what they actually do, but it's called Ricky Rooter. And their thing is, when things get icky, just call Ricky. But before I actually, I got the ring announcer one time where he was like, when things get icky, and before he could even say it, I just yell out, "Don't call Ricky." And he just like points right at me. It's like, just call Ricky. The thing that makes it even funnier, the sponsor tables were in the section right behind where I was.
Mm-hmm.
The Ricky Rooter guys were right behind me. Oh, good times. All right.
Man.
Well, see, tangents happen on this show. We just went down a fucking rabbit hole. Well, next question here. With the name of the show like I have, I feel like I have to ask this because it's fitting. Favorite drink, alcoholic or otherwise, because I've had plenty of people on that don't drink for one reason or another, and I always try to tell them, just because it says drinking at Moe's doesn't mean that it has to be alcoholic.
Favorite drink, I would have to say one of my go-to drinks is always either a pina colada soda or like a pineapple, a cream. I don't know what it is. I love that. That's like my go-to. Whenever I'm at Bucky's, the legendary Bucky's. Sorry if I'm not pronouncing it right. But yeah, they have this pineapple cream soda. Oh man, it is my go-to. Better than pineapple Fanta. That's always my go-to wherever. And if I'm at a bar or something like that, I will ask for a pina colada. I don't care. It's like the less manliest drink. You know what? I'm gonna drink that. I'm gonna swallow that
It
thing.
can be refreshing.
Exactly.
It can be refreshing. I'm mostly a beer guy, but I do enjoy a good margarita from time to time. Although another drink, besides Dr. Pepper that I like because I'm a Dr. Pepper fiend, according to my wife. But Jack and Coke, but I put grenadine in there. So it basically tastes like a Jack and Cherry Coke. Freaking delicious.
See, I love that, and I don't know. I don't understand why people don't like anything with cherry in it. And like, I love drinking like the Coca-Cola cherry vanilla, Pepsi cherry. There's even a diet Pepsi cherry which tastes amazing. People are like, "Oh no, I don't like that. I don't like that flavor." It's a simple flavor. It's just it hits so well. It's it has that consistency of a Pepsi, but it's sweet, and I don't know, man. I love it. I personally love it.
Oh, yeah. All right. Now, last but not least here, best advice you have for anybody wanting to get into wrestling.
Best advice, and I always tell everyone, anyone in wrestling, even just like in general, patience. Have a lot of patience. It will not come fast. You have to work hard and you have to be very patient. Nothing will happen overnight. It may happen when you least expect it. Patience. Patience really is a virtue.
Yeah. Not everybody gets to the main event of WrestleMania right away.
Exactly.
For sure. Well, before we go, where can people find you social media wise? So if people want to keep their eyes on you and where you're going to be, they can go ahead and get their eyes there.
I'm always on Facebook. I'm trying to post something in my stories. Instagram, I would always post something probably once a day, once a week, or something like that. I always, post my pictures and whatnot. On my Instagram is the only Manny 01 because I really am one of the only Mannies here in Dallas. I met a couple that are outside the state or outside Dallas, and then Manny EG on my Facebook. It's really easy to find me. I'm always posting there some sort of story. I'm always trying to get some sort of content. I'm going to do a lot more content, fitness content, just some stories, everyday content. I've been interested in starting to review some restaurants. I have a little bit of content there, some Dallas restaurants and all that.
Hey,
So, I'm going to come up with that any type of content because, people love content. People want something to see. So, yeah. And plus, I like food. So, I'm going to start making a couple food reviews.
yeah, as if I haven't made that obvious here.
Yeah.
Anyway, we'll get all that in the description. Want to thank you for taking the time to talk to me tonight. It was an absolute pleasure, and you're welcome back anytime.
Likewise, honestly, it's fun. Love the laughs. Love everything. Love wrestling.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Now, the fucking issue I have with this goddamn button.